My name is Michael Sucher. I've been practicing addiction medicine primarily in Arizona for over 30 years. I have a number of roles that place me squarely in the center of this issue. I'm the medical director of the largest opioid treatment program network in Arizona. We have 25 clinics and approximately 10,000 patients with opioid use disorder. I'm also the program director for the largest and first addiction medicine fellowship training program, where we train physicians from other specialties in addiction medicine. And I have spent much of my career taking care of physicians and other health professionals who have dealt with substance use disorders. At our methadone clinics, our opioid treatment programs, over the last year and a half, we have started to see an increasing number of patients presenting with kratom addiction. And you've already heard from other speakers a lot about what kratom is, and kratom is unquestionably an opioid. It produces addiction, it produces withdrawal. People overdose on it, and as you've heard, some people die. And Tia, I am so sorry about your loss. Just a terrible thing. And I can, and it's available everywhere. We actually did a TV spot about a month ago for one of the local TV stations, and one of our clinic managers prior to that just walked across the street to a smoke shop and walked back with multiple preparations that he purchased legally, inexpensively, to just demonstrate how easy it is to obtain this. And I've seen this in so many patients. I have a longtime woman friend in recovery from opioid use disorder. She discovered Feel Free, which you saw a photo the other day. She thought it was a natural supplement, tried it, and immediately got high, reminded her of being on opioids, and had a serious reaction to it. As I mentioned, I treat a lot of physicians. There's a physician in long-term recovery from opioid use disorder. He discovered kratom, thought it was safe, natural, non-addictive, and also relapsed essentially on kratom, becoming addicted to it. And he told me, I just saw him the other day, and he said it was far more difficult to get off of kratom than it was. And you've seen and heard about Hillary's struggle with this. So it's absolutely true how difficult that is. Another gentleman was at his local gym, and somebody introduced him to kratom at the gym. He became addicted very quickly, and ordering cases of it online. Has just now gone through detox and treatment to finally get off this, which has been a problem. You also heard from our last speaker that not all drug tests detect kratom. In fact, most drug tests do not detect kratom. I've done a lot of work with drug testing over the years, and we have a sort of a maxim: if you don't look for a particular drug, you will not find it. So we need to also do something about this. Additionally, we also know from our own treatment experience at our clinics that buprenorphine or Suboxone and methadone are effective treatments for kratom use disorder. This drug should not be available for children, teenagers, or even adults. It should not be allowed to be purchased. We heard about synthetic drugs. 7-OH is 10 times more potent than morphine. And you've heard about how potent fentanyl is. And it's interesting. My partner in practice years ago, when OxyContin became available, and touted as the safe, non-addictive, effective pain reliever, we looked at each other and said, this is not going to end well. And it's amazing how prescient we turned out to be, because clearly we recognized this opioid epidemic long before the general public became aware. And I think we've seen that progress from pain pills, if you will, to fentanyl, now widely available. Years ago, fentanyl was only seen in anesthesiologists who had access to it in the operating room. They were the only ones we ever saw with fentanyl addiction. And now kratom here is just available over the counter, and history is replete with drugs that were supposedly safe, natural. Natural? Cocaine is natural. Opium is natural. That doesn't make either of those non-addictive or safe. Meperidine or Demerol was synthesized in 1935 as the new effective pain reliever that was non-addictive and safer than morphine. Well, that didn't turn out very well. Years later, Tramadol came on the market, safe, effective, non-addictive pain medication. Turns out it's an opioid too. And it took a long time for that drug to be controlled by the Drug Enforcement Administration as a scheduled medication. In my mind, there is no question that kratom needs to be banned completely, and at the very least, scheduled as a Schedule 1 controlled substance, meaning it has high addiction potential and no recognized medical use. I just think you've heard some very good information from everybody before me, and hopefully this will move the needle because it will take legislation at the state and national level to get the right result and protect our citizens and particularly our children.